So you paid $300 to $1,000 for a Spotify promotion company to ruin your long-term organic reach. So, is it really true that the only way to get official Spotify playlists is by pitching through the Spotify for Artists upcoming portal? What are some of the other ways? I'm going to get to that shortly. I think I care about this topic so deeply, well, because for one, during my record label career, my focus was pitching Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and others for features and playlists. Pitching new music was something that I did for 20 years. I was a vice president at Sony Music and the GM at rock label Fearless Records. I've been in bands and promoting music since I was 15 years old. Now that I run an academy and teach this stuff, I constantly run into musicians who are struggling with Spotify or social media or gatekeepers from all over the music industry. Hit the subscribe button below and get 10% off a membership to BandBuilder. After becoming frustrated and not getting official Spotify playlists, many of you have fallen prey to digital marketers. They're telling you, do Spotify playlist promotion. We'll get you on massive playlists. We have a network of 10 million listeners. Or we'll get your track to 7,000 curators. They know your pain, and they're going to show you what paradise looks like. They've got you focused on trading dollars for streams. Okay, let's say they get you 25,000 streams in 2 weeks. You're thinking, that's a pretty good trade for $300. But what about the skips? Most of you don't think about that. I haven't heard any playlist promotion company say, we'll get you 25,000 streams with only 500 skips. They don't think about that, and they don't want you thinking about it either. But I'm here to tell you that you need to be concerned about skips. Those of you who have used services like this know that shortly after your campaign ends, your streams fall off a cliff. And you can be sure that they put you on a playlist that got you too many skips. And that told Spotify's recommendation engine that the track wasn't well liked. And so Spotify stopped showing your music to new listeners. So you paid $300 to $1,000 for a Spotify promotion company to ruin your long-term organic reach. So why do I care? Why am I taking the time to make this video? Well, I want to help you learn the right approach to streaming. And I also want to stop the digital marketers from ruining Spotify and messing up your career in the process. Okay, so don't get skips, don't use Spotify promotion services. You get it. So what do we do then? Don't worry, I got you covered. First, I've got 6 tips on how to get official Spotify playlists. Then, I'm going to mention a few playlist promotion services that aren't that bad. I'm not actually saying don't use Spotify playlist promotion services. There is a way to use them responsibly. And after you watch this video, I've got a separate video that goes into my process on getting Spotify playlists for free. 6 tips for getting on official Spotify playlists. Overall, you're trying to get long-term sustained algorithm play and on Spotify official playlists. And there's lots of paths. But other than having a really, really good song, tip number 1, branding. That means artwork, photos, and your about section. It all has to impress a curator. But if you can break through with quality music and branding, then you can get on to the other parts of your business and stop being so obsessed with Spotify. The algorithm playlists are there for the taking. Spotify gives you the freebie Release Radar just for pitching your music to Spotify for Artists 7 days or more before release date. Guaranteed. You have a 1 in 6 chance of landing an editorial playlist each time you pitch. And with 100,000 tracks being released each week, that's a lot of playlists being given out. What I often hear from artists and managers is that I've tried that so many times, I never get anything from the Spotify upcoming portal. And they only give you 150 words. I find that artists just give up, and then they shift their focus to either paying for Spotify playlist promotion or trying to game the system somehow. Tip number 2, learn how to do a track development plan. Instead of giving up or complaining about it, you should learn how to do a track development plan and have a real release strategy. I'll leave a link to download my track development plan below. And inside BandBuilder Academy, I also share my pitch strategies and what to write on your 150-word pitch. And don't sleep on Amazon and Pandora. Those services now offer a direct submission process for artists. So it's use it or lose it. Tip number 3, don't use a Spotify-only strategy. Spotify can smell this a mile away. Have a few launch partners that you can name drop in your pitch. Spotify doesn't want to be alone in the market. They're much more confident about playlisting your track if they see that this or that social influencer is helping you launch, or a featured vocalist is on the track, or you've partnered with a brand, or your song's involved in this community or segment of pop culture. TikTok influencers have a lot of power in your Spotify pitch, because if you can list three, like XYZ influencer, 1.2 million followers, ABC influencer, 750,000 followers, and then a third one, 500,000 followers. This is really powerful. You can find influencers that are promoting your style on TikTok, then send them a message on Instagram and ask if they want to do a collab or use your music, and ask how they work with musicians. They'll shoot you back their rates or put you in touch with their manager. You'd be surprised by how many of them will do it for $50 or $100. Some of them are pumping out 5, 10, 20 videos a day, so it's easy money for them. There's also influencer marketing agencies that match musicians with influencers and brands. Tip number 4, get a priority pitch through your distributor. If you do come up with a competitive plan, you might be able to get a priority pitch through your distributor. Major distributors still have the ability to pitch directly to Spotify curators, and so do indie distributors like DistroKid, CD Baby, or Ditto. This requires developing a good relationship with your distributor. If you can't convince your distributor to get excited about you in a much smaller pool of artists, then how can you expect Spotify, who has 20 times the amount of submissions, to get excited? But if you don't give your distributor a competitive plan, they're not going to pitch your music. You see, distributors are graded on their submissions, and there's a post-release analysis. When something flops, it hurts their submission score. Distributors who choose their priorities wisely get good grades and get better editorial and operational support from the music services. And those who don't get less. But like I said, you need to have a good relationship with your distributor. And this means putting together a great track development plan that delivers release week traffic from all directions. And when they review the performance a couple weeks later, if you delivered on your plan, this builds trust with your distributor and the curators at Spotify, Apple, and Amazon. Tip number 5, keep your algorithm pure. Don't get greedy. After you get on some really targeted and relevant playlists, don't ruin it by trying to get on really general or broad playlists that are just going to get you skips. To make my point, I don't like New Music Friday. It's seen as a huge opportunity, but I think it's too broad for every artist. It's short-lived and it gets you skips. And I don't like having my music on broad playlists. If your music is streamed to the very end frequently, it's listened to more than twice per listener, it gets added to lots of listener playlists and lots of hearts, then you're going to trigger the algorithm. And eventually, Spotify official curators are going to find you. Tip number 6, artist and talent managers, publishers, labels, and distributors. So by now, you're understanding that the Spotify for Artists upcoming pitch portal is not the only way to get official Spotify playlists. But distributors and the upcoming pitch portal are required in every circumstance. Getting support from artist managers, publishers, labels, and distributors are ways to help get official playlists. These people have relationships with official curators or their bosses. If they trust that you'll make them look good, they might talk you up to their Spotify contacts. But just understand that even though you have a manager friend that has a direct contact at Spotify, you still need to have your pitch set up on a distributor's priority grid. That's the best way, or at least through the Spotify for Artists upcoming portal. Otherwise, when they pull up your artist name or song title, it won't show up in the system for your given release date. And let me reiterate, your manager friend or record label, they're also being graded. So make sure that your launch plan is competitive and that it actually results in people showing up to Spotify on release week. This is what I meant by not using a Spotify-only approach. Other ways. I'm going to make this brief because my next video will focus on more in-depth ways to get on Spotify playlists for free. Curate your own playlists. Playlist trading in Facebook or Discord groups. Create a database with contacts for very relevant listener playlists in your specific genres or moods. This one's pretty high on my list, and it'll work for everybody. It does require the most work, but I also think it has the biggest long-term payoff for your algorithm. There's 2 places where I look for these. The first one is listener playlists. These already have your song on them. they're found on your Spotify for Artists portal. And then the Discovered On feature on the Spotify app. I use 2 member-only tools inside a band builder that were developed just for my academy: the Genre Detector tool and the Spotify Algorithm tool. They help you to find the best playlists that won't get you skips. And not only will they have similar artists, but you're looking for what I call should-be fans. Because if they like all the songs on a playlist, they should like yours too. Services like Playlister Club, Submit Hub, Groover, and Hype Machine. These are low on the list, but worth mentioning. What you need to know about these is that for any one artist, there's probably only 7 to 15 playlists or journalists that are a great fit for your music. There are thousands of opportunities on these platforms, but just don't pay for more than the 7 to 15 quality ones that I'm talking about. I know you want to believe there's more, but trust me, they're mostly junk. Just get to the ones that are a perfect fit and ignore the temptation to expand. Don't go hunting for skips. I go deeper on how to get free playlists in my next video. And don't forget, I left the download link for my free track development plan below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of my videos, and I'm happy to answer any of your questions in the comments. Okay, take care everybody.